On this show, we'll dive into the complex realities of harm reduction, substance use disorder, homelessness, and related topics.
We want to emphasize that while we have extensive frontline experience in these areas, we are not accredited professionals. Therefore, despite thorough research, factual inaccuracies may occur from time to time.
We are passionate advocates who prioritize lived experiences and compassion in all discussions. Our conversations may contain explicit language and address topics that can be upsetting to some listeners.
We encourage everyone to engage with an open mind and understand that our goal is to foster understanding, empathy, and support for those impacted by these issues.
As long as you guys
fancy equipment, no wonder it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to use it.
Me neither.
She's the
Clearly.
Is this your boyfriend's stuff? Did he set you up with this?
He helped us buy it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all him.
A lot you too.
I don't know how to even press record, so.
We're good. Don't worry about it.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Daily Dose. My name's Cassandra.
And I'm Tanya.
And we're here with a guest today.
Yes, we are. Can anybody guess? No, I guess we can't hear feedback. So we should probably just tell everybody we have the lovely Amy with us today.
Amy is a local artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have a very exciting event happening next week. I'm trying to do the math in my head because we're pre-recording this, so I'm trying to remember. Friday, September 6th.
Yeah.
We have a very special event coming that we will talk about more. And Amy's been a big part of that. So that's why we have her today on the podcast. However, we just talked about this and I forgot to hit record. So we're going to talk about it again, I guess.
So now we'll just be able to speak so eloquently. Thanks, Cassandra.
So Tanya, unfortunately, doesn't get to deliver her daily dose this week.
You're all welcome.
Because Amy came in and as we were setting up, she asked if we had heard the news today from this morning, or I guess yesterday.
It was this morning.
This morning,
As I was getting ready.
So, as Amy, do you want to tell the story? You were getting your coffee.
Sure, yeah. I was getting my coffee this morning, getting ready to come here, and turned on the news. And the news was that in Ontario, they are closing 10 of the consumption sites against recommendations from their own review that they've been doing for about a year and a half. So, yeah, he's closing 10 of them against recommendations.
Against recommendations.
Yeah. So, some of the things he said in this news report, I just don't believe supervised consumption sites. I've listened to what the people in the neighborhoods, I've consulted with them. I've been getting endless phone calls about the needles in the parks, which, Tanya, we have talked about.
Yes.
Needles being by the schools and by the daycares. That's unacceptable. And I will say, it does state that the supervised consumption sites that they're referring to are within 200 meters of schools and daycares, which is just poor planning on whoever opened the sites.
Yeah.
But that's an easy. But that's a simple fix.
Yeah.
You relocate the supervised consumption sites, right? But he goes on to say, giving an addict a place to do their injections. We haven't seen it get better. This was supposed to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's the worst thing that could ever happen to a community to have one of these safe injection sites in their neighborhood.
So what's next? They're going to close shelters because, like,
bars.
Oh my gosh! Exactly. Fights break out after bars. Things happen.
People drive drunk
bars.
after going to bars and kill multiple people. And so this review happened, and I'm not familiar with this story. Amy, if you don't mind touching on it, but this review happened because of an incident that occurred, right?
Right. There was a young wife that was walking down the street in front of one of the consumption sites, and she was shot and killed. I believe this was about a year and a half ago. So that's what spurred on the review. And the review did say that they should be opening more sites, not closing sites. And then these sites, the 10 that are being closed, are not being relocated, according to the report this morning. They're simply being closed. So it doesn't sound like he's...
They must close by no later than March 31st, 2025, which I'm guessing is when their yearly funding would run out anyway. So.
Wow. See, the very first thing, sorry, I'm just so frazzled. I'm just like, all I can think about is the deaths in the community. And we know deaths in our community, unfortunately, happen frequently. And then you take away a supervised consumption site. It's not right.
It's very disheartening to hear all of this when it's overdose awareness.
His focus is, like you said before, when we were not
recording.
His focus is definitely seems to be on one side of the community and not the other.
Yeah.
Which is sad considering his own, like I said, his own family has a history. He should be well aware of addiction issues, considering, we all know, well, most of us know about his brother and his issues that he had. So it's surprising that someone can be seemingly so misguided, or maybe, just like I said before, like gaps in his knowledge of what's happening on the ground.
Yeah. It's, and not to say that, like, he says he talked to the people in the neighborhood and their opinion matters, but their opinion should matter just as much as the people who use the sites.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever, I wonder if he's even went into one of those sites before and talked to those individuals and about how much those sites have helped them. And, like, we were talking about this morning before Amy came in, like, you get so jaded sometimes about all the negative and, like, what we don't have and all the resources we don't have and all the people that, like, we see that have progressively gotten worse over the years. But you do forget about the ones, because we were talking about an individual who used to access our services and now is doing really well, has a baby, has housed.
Things are going so well.
Things are going well, and reached out to me recently just, to express concern about a friend, but reached out to me and was explaining to me how well they're doing, basically. Yeah. And you kind of forget about that. You forget about the people who do, because of these sites and because they're able to have that backup support and they're able to have people in their corner and help them and support them in the ways that we can. Like, they are able to continue in their recovery and,
flourish.
Yeah, exactly.
Live life and be free and to have the opportunity to make good decisions.
Because sites like overdose prevention sites and needle distribution services, right? Like, without an OPS, without a safe consumption site, some of those individuals might not even still be around to make those decisions. Like, that's the point of it, right? It's to keep people alive so that when they are ready to make that choice to enter into recovery or treatment or what have you, they're around to do that.
Yeah.
And you can tell already how, sorry, Tanya, I didn't mean to cut you off then, but you can tell just how, like, almost disgusted he is by these sites, by literally him being like, this was supposed to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, I don't know whoever made that claim, but.
And you have, when people come to here at Ensemble, it's like the first step in making a better choice for yourself. You're getting clean supplies, you're getting connected to resources, finding out maybe if there is treatment available, like harm reduction. It starts by some of these consumption sites getting connected to things that they haven't been able to. It's
their new plan is to invest almost $400 million to open 19 new homelessness and addiction recovery treatment hubs.
But not everybody's ready to do the
No, not everyone's ready to do that. Not everyone has the support to do that.
It's great that they want to pour all this.
They're going 2 steps forward when they still haven't done the baby steps.
No. And then they're going to get, like, frustrated when they realize not everyone's accessing these programs. Or there's more. Our overdose deaths are toll's gone up now. Or, there's even more needles in the parks. And, like, like, it's.
Unfortunately, he lacks the understanding of the importance and the benefits of having a consumption
It's just
site
like you said, Amy. It's just clearly.
Why don't we invite him?
Reach out, Tom or Bill. Doug, sorry. Not a political person.
Let's invite him on the podcast. Let's
invite him down for a tour.
Come see. Because
if anybody listening knows him.
Sorry.
100 or 500 alarms every day.
If anybody knows him, pass it along.
Pass along.
Yeah.
I'd love
Sorry,
to
I
have
kind
him
of
here.
invited him onto your podcast.
Let's
I
bring
like
Doug
it. It's
for it. He's
great.
not our premier. So. Bring him here. Like,
It's sad.
it's sad.
Maybe we should start with our own premiere.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very disheartening.
It
to
is.
see that.
We've been hearing of different closures across Canada that are getting their sites shut down, lack of funding rather. And it's like we're taking 2 steps ahead sometimes, and then we're taking 4 back. Like we're losing ground on keeping people safe.
It's ironic too, because I'm reading this article, and the more I'm reading, it's like the people who support supervised consumption sites, they're coming out and they're saying, you know, this is only going to make the problem worse. You're only
Yes.
going to see it more. You're going to achieve the opposite of what you're hoping to achieve. Like you're not suddenly going to be like, you're not going to see an uptick in people going through recovery and treatment programs. Like that's not what's going to happen here. And people are trying to say that to him because people are now going to use openly more in parks and in other public places than before. Not to mention, you know, the overdose deaths and the more drug-related injuries. And he said, well, those are just typical scare tactics.
He used it as scare tactic?
Those are just typical scare tactics that these folks have been saying for years and has not worked. It's a failed policy, simple as that. We're making a better policy. Tanya, we really need to do an episode on Switzerland and the Netherlands.
Yeah. You mean about Portugal with like the decriminalization of...
Well, yeah, and Switzerland and the Netherlands did it too.
Oh.
In the 90s.
The 90s?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we got some catching up to do.
This is sad.
We see our people every day. We see the struggles. We're not living them, but we see them going through them and the heartache. And to hear another resource getting taken away that is here to try to keep their lives continuing.
I mean, that's what the awareness is about for the community, I think. The portion that we need to focus on, at least for the project I'm working on with you.
Oh,
yes,
good
which is
segue. Good
incredible.
segue.
No, I
good
mean-
segue.
Yeah, and it's positive because
Yes.
I'm really hung on that. So, yes, let's focus on the good that we're going to be experiencing
Yes.
here, Amy.
Let's do that. So,
But that's what's needed, I think, is there's a lot of hatred, especially online, like I've told you before, in our own community. So the education portion of it, I think, is the awareness portion of it is equally important, as much, if not more, in my mind, than the fundraising portion of what we're doing.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So, a little background before we get into kind of today's topic is we here at Ensemble, we take on students do their placements here from different schools. So we have social work students sometimes, we have human service counseling students, we have nursing students, and we have med students. And we took on the Sherbrooke Medical, what is it called? The University of Sherbrooke at the Moncton campus. We had some of their students come here one year. And one of those students was Amy's son, James. And he loved it. And I'll let you go into more details about your feelings on that. Mm-hmm. But through that project, through James doing his placement here and then some presentations that I had given at the school, James connected me with his mother, and we were able to basically form an event that way. And we'll get into more details, but we are having an event on Friday, September 6th. We're having our first ever
I can't wait.
the Silhouette Project Art Gala and Silent Auction. So it's an evening dedicated to raising awareness about the stigma faced by individuals who use substances and or are experiencing homelessness. But the big twist, kind of, I guess you can say, about the whole evening is that there's other portraits mixed in there. So Amy spent a couple days here at Ensemble taking pictures to paint portraits of our clients and the people who use our services. But we also have pictures and portraits done of people who don't use our services. And the whole point is you're not going to be able to know who is a client of Ensemble and who is not.
Yeah.
So
I got a sneak peek of a couple of the picks. I think maybe one or two. And wow, I can't wait for the night. It is just incredible work you guys are doing.
It's going to also act as our kind of our event for Overdose Awareness Month and kind of our way of, we're going to say it a lot, but bringing awareness, but then also remembering those who we've lost because of substance use disorder and overdoses and other drug-related illnesses. And it's going to be so fun. It's so, like, we've been planning this now since May?
Something like that, yeah.
Like
it's been a while.
Long time. It flew by, but at the same time, it feels like it was forever ago. So, Amy, do you want to talk just like a little bit about your experience from like when James told you he was like...
So, I'll just do a little background. For 20 years, I worked in the insurance industry, and recently, in the spring, was told that my services would be no longer required, that we were being replaced by overseas workers and AI. So they gave me a generous severance package, which I've been basically living off of for the last 6 months. And so I really would never have had the opportunity or the time to do a project like this before. So it's kind of fortuitous that this all kind of happened all at the same time. So when I was kind of trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life, I did a portrait of my partner. And I've always been an artist. I've done it on the side while I worked full time. And then I did this portrait, and I really, really enjoyed the process. And I thought, I wonder if there's someone else I could do in the community, or someone, that I would want to paint. So I knew James had been involved with Ensemble, and I questioned him and I said, do you think there's anyone at Ensemble that I could do a portrait of? Thinking one portrait. And he was like, well, I think if we ask Cassandra, and if we try to maybe sweeten the pot a little, and maybe suggest we could like sell it or do a fundraiser, maybe they should go for it. And I said, well, okay. And so he got the ball rolling for us. And that's sort of how it all started. And now it's turned into 15 portraits. And involves 4 artists. And we're having a gallery show at the university. So it's been a whirlwind. It's been really, really fun. It's been impactful on me. I will sort of also just say, like, when James came home one day and said from school that the school was giving them choices of places they could go and volunteer. And he told me the one he really wanted to go to was Ensemble. And I'm like, well, what's Ensemble? And he said it's the however he described it. And immediately red flags, all red flags, like red flags, mama, he's my only child. Like Mama Bear came out, and I'm like, you're going where? And who's going to be there? And what do they do? And he started explaining it to me. And I said, no, you're not going there. You're not going there. You're going to go back to school, and you're going to tell them you're going somewhere else. Because I am afraid for you. I don't want you down there. And I'm telling you this just because, like, I want people to be aware how uneducated I was and how unaware of what was going on down here. All I ever saw, and all I still pretty much ever see, is negativity online and people saying things that are horrific about the place. I never see anybody, like, talking up the place or telling it how it really is. So I was very uneducated, and I was very scared.
Understandably, there's fear in the unknown.
Right. So against my better judgment, he's 21 and I couldn't control him. So he went. He said, I'm going, Mom. That's where I want to go. I'm going. You can't stop me, kind of thing. And I said, okay. I said, you call me when you get there. And, like, just stupid. Like, I was just being way overprotective.
Yeah. Text me every hour on the hour. Yeah.
Tell me how it's going. So I grilled him when he got home the first time, and I asked him, was it safe? What did you see? What did you learn? All those things. And he was excited about it. He thought it was fantastic. He thought you guys were fantastic. And slowly but surely, he kind of started bringing me around. And then one day he said, Mom, we've got to go to Nova Scotia.
I would like to formally apologize for this because this is my fault.
And I'm like, why are we going to Nova Scotia? And he said, because there's something called, help me here, naloxone kits.
Or Narcan.
Narcan kits that reduce or stop an overdose in progress. And they're not free in New Brunswick, but they're free in Nova Scotia at the pharmacies. And I'm like, but you're a med student. Can't you get access to that? You know, he's like, no, Mom, I need a lot of them. And I said, why do you need a lot of them? He said, because I want to give them to some of my friends who are medical students. And I want to put one in the car. I want to put one in my briefcase. And I said, okay, we're going to Nova Scotia. So we got in the car and we drove down to Amherst. And we went to like 3 pharmacies. And he went into each one. And I felt a little uneasy when he was going in because just stigma, you know, going in and asking for these kits. Like, are they going to look at him sideways? And are they going to question him? Or I know they're not supposed to, or whatever their policy is. And everybody was generous and just gave them out to him. And off we went. Home with a bunch of Narcan in the car. And the whole trip, he was telling me about how it works and why it's important, and then filled me in on more and more. So then that was when I was doing the portrait of my partner. And it was just really soon after that, I said, maybe someone else saw him, because he got me interested in the people down here. He got me interested in thinking about them. And I just thought, well, that's the type of person I want to do a portrait of. Someone with a story.
Yeah.
So that's when I asked him, you know, do you think they'd be interested in me coming down to do a portrait? And that's where it started. Oh. But yeah, I mean, and then I get here, and Cassandra, you'll know, because you can testify to this. After I started meeting with them, I was nervous or whatever, you know, but not nervous for my safety, but just nervous. Yeah. And I met them, and one by one, like afterwards, there were times I was bawling, just tears in my eyes, and just overwhelming feeling of, I don't even know how to describe it, even to this day when I tell people, I don't know what the feeling is exactly. But it's a lot of sadness, a lot of sorrow, mixed with very mother bear feelings of wanting to protect and take care of these souls that I met. And the way that they looked at me in the eye and spoke to me and just told me their very inner story, and how I just could see them as my daughter or my son or my partner or my brother. And I could just feel the humanness in them. And it just brought something out of me that just, I'm not the same as I'm going to cry now. I'm not the same as I was before I came.
Tissue box is empty.
So I think for me and for a lot of people, if they could just take the time to use whatever special gift they have and maybe try to meet some of the people here, obviously under some sort of supervision, or I don't know what volunteering looks like here besides what I've done. But there needs to be more interaction, I think, with people in the community just to educate them. That's a creaky door.
It's a creaky door.
But yeah, it was sort of life-changing and opened my eyes to a lot of things. And to this day, you know, I think of them often.
Yeah.
In everything I do around the city and when I see them.
Not ruins, that's a poor choice of words, but it completely changes your outlook on everything.
Yeah.
Like even like when it rains now, my first thought is like, oh my God, where are they? Is everyone inside? Is everyone safe? Is everyone okay? And I do remember when you came for the first time, because when James had reached out, it's one of those things where you're like, will something come of this or will nothing come of this, right? And I remember, because I rope Tanya into everything I do, clearly.
I love it though.
I was like, Tanya, here's what's going on. I had this student who volunteered here, did their placement here, reached out, yada, yada, yada. Do you want to help me with this and plan this event? And I remember we met with you for the first time and we talked for about 2 hours.
Like 2 hours or something.
Like trying to figure out the details of the event and when to have it, and you know
when I could meet them,
when you could meet them and things. And I do remember either I had mentioned it or you had mentioned it. saying like, I will be there. Like I'll bring the clients up to you and I will be around.
Yep.
Like I won't leave them. I will be around. And part of it is for, you know, that protection comes out. Like, and I'm not a mother. A lot of the clients are older than me, but it is that like that protectiveness of they're going to willingly participate in something that I'm requesting them to do. I'm going to make sure that they're comfortable and they're there and that they feel safe. But then also because I understand that a lot of people have that stigma or that bias and nervousness. And I remember the first client or one of the first clients you did, you were in there forever.
Yeah.
Like forever. And so the process is, Amy's process was to spend a few days here to take pictures. So then you had a reference to paint.
Right.
And you would ask them questions because you wanted to
speed dating.
Yeah. Basically speed dating.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You wanted to draw that emotion out of them to capture the pictures. And it was simple questions like, like, what's your favorite movie?
Yep. Just to get them to give me something about themselves, because as an artist, when you do portraits, you really, in my opinion anyway, you really want to get that connection with somebody. Otherwise it can just be a blank feeling. So yeah, we did a little speed dating, I called it. So just some general questions and got a lot of information out of people. And some people were strict to just answering questions. Other people were very open and shared a lot of information. Yeah.
And I remember going to ask clients like, hey, do you want to partake in this little event we're doing? We're trying to raise awareness for stigma. And I don't think like that's as far as I would get. They'd be like, sure, I'll do it. So they would come upstairs not knowing really what they were doing, but they were all so excited to do it.
It was really important for me to make them feel comfortable too and make them want to participate. And I think we achieved that.
Yeah.
And more so with the portraits that we did, it was more important to me that the portraits themselves were what they would like. Like I wanted it to be good art.
Yes.
But in the end, I was really concerned with how they would like it. There was two actual portraits that I did. One that I showed you pictures of, it's not going to be in the show. I hated it. Like as an artist, sometimes you can really just
be your own worst critic.
Yeah. And I just thought it didn't do her justice. It just didn't work for her. It wasn't what I really wanted. So I trashed it and I started fresh. And I don't know that you've seen the fresh one, which is fine. There has to be some surprise.
I have to be surprised too.
So yes, it was really important for me that they would like it. And I knew the first one may miss the mark, whereas the second one I thought she was going to love. So that was more important to me to put that one in. And then there was another client as well who was quite self-conscious, the way she appears now versus pictures she showed of me when she was younger and healthier. So I did a very realistic portrait of her at first. And I just felt in my heart, even though I found she's beautiful, she wasn't going to be happy with it. So I stylized it and I made it much more of a pop art piece. And so she's going to love it. I know she will now. And that was really important to me. It wasn't so much about to show off my abilities. It was more about showing them that I appreciated them for taking the time and being able to do this with me. It was very much my concern was more about how they would perceive the work. So yeah, and that piece, by the way, I have another little bit of information. That piece has been selected by the city to be put in I'm afraid I don't even know the name of it exactly, but they're collecting local art to display in downtown windows. So the city has asked for that piece. They just asked, and I thought, I didn't think you guys would mind if I submitted that one because it's supposed to be city. It has a city in it, so it's like city background. So it is Moncton after all, and I thought, They don't know who she is. They don't know she's one of the
Oh my God.
of the people
That's
from
amazing.
Ensemble. And they said they were
incredible.
reserving my piece for one of the larger windows. So
What?
I don't know what's
my
going to happen,
God.
but
Wow.
hopefully something good.
Keep us updated on that.
Yeah, I'll
Oh
keep
my
you updated.
God.
I can't wait
Yeah.
for the client to know.
Yeah.
I know, that's my first thought too.
Yeah.
Was like,
I got
I can't wait.
goosebumps.
Yeah. So
Oh.
hopefully that'll happen. I hope. Fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, sounds like it's
Yeah.
in the makings.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about like what it was like, just like, because Tanya and I yap all the time about like how, you know, they're just human. They're just, you know, they're great. They're amazing. They're like all of us. They have bad days. They have good days.
Right.
As someone who like had that, you know,
Initial.
that societal stigma that we all
Yeah.
have at some point when we don't work in this field.
Absolutely.
What was it like coming in and I know by the time you came in, you were a bit more accepting. But what was it like the
It's a
first
bit of a
time?
shock.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a shock because you have to go through, like even this morning, I walk up on the stairs and there's someone laying next to you on the stairs
Yeah.
who I'm assuming, you know, didn't have anywhere to sleep last night and didn't have a place to get clean and hasn't got a full belly and all those things. So you're walking past that, and even just that initial walking past that is hard for people who aren't in this situation every day. It's hard to go past people and say good morning and look them in the eye, and because everyday type of situation, I think most people just would, if they were on the street or if you saw someone begging, or they were going to walk by and not even make eye contact or say hello or how's your day or whatever. So it's difficult. I think it's still hard even for me to see it. And when I came in and sat down with them one by one, like I said, it was just really heartwarming, you know. Like I said, I'm really touched by them. You know, there was one girl, young woman, no more than 21, 22, and obviously I'm not going to share her details, but the things she said to me just in such a matter-of-fact sort of way that was sort of fatalistic in her way of looking at her life, like she had no way to control anything, no say in her life, that life was just the way it was. There was no other course for her. And in my heart, I kept thinking, how can you say this? I want to take her by the shoulders and shake her silly and say, you're 22. You've got your whole life ahead of you. How can you think that this is all there is? There's so much more for you. You just need someone to help you and then the mama bear came out, and I'm like thinking to myself, well, I've got a spare room at home. I can take you home and take care of you and, you know, help you.
Yeah.
But I can't do that, you know. But, and it wouldn't help her in the end, I'm sure. She needs help that I have no idea what she needs. But it was very,
Sobering. It's very
Sobering.
like, because I remember too specifically one of the clients you had said after she had left, you said because one of the things you asked or used to ask was, can you describe your ideal best day?
Oh, yeah.
And I remember when I went in after and she had left, you said what she described as her best day would have been my worst
day. Yeah, it was.
Like, it's just,
Her best day would have been my worst day ever.
yeah.
It was just, do you want me to describe her day?
You can, yeah.
Okay, it was, well, one part would be okay. But being in the woods or in the forest, that was her happy place with her partner. Having enough drugs for the day, that they didn't have to go and prostitute or do something to get drugs, that they'd have enough drugs, be in the woods, in a tent, and make love to her partner. So making love, great, no problem.
This sounds good.
That sounds all right. But in the woods with mosquitoes and like I'm thinking bugs, hygiene, food. The drugs part, of course, you want to always, everyone wants to feel good. But it just sounded to me like the worst case scenario I could even imagine.
Because she could have said anything.
She could have said anything.
Be in a house, have a hotel room.
Yeah.
Her best
be in
day.
a yacht on the water. But her best day would be in the woods in a tent.
With drugs.
With drugs. With no one around to bug them.
And the drug part is probably so that she could have had a full day without being sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not for the idea of maybe being high.
That's right. I probably shouldn't have said that. But
No,
But it's probably a bit of both, honestly. Like, it's
the stress of getting it, I think, is what she was saying. Like, she wouldn't have to stress about getting it. It would just be there.
Didn't have to commit a
Her
crime.
needs were being met by having a boyfriend to love her, having the drugs she needed, and having a safe place in the woods. Oh.
It really rocks your world for a little while, if not forever. It really gives you an idea of, like, I don't even know how to say what I'm feeling, but I mean, their expectations are a little lower. Like, they're so much happier just like that, just being in a tent or just being in the woods, like, as opposed to thinking of that yacht or, that was her peace. That was her happy.
I think, you said it. Like, their expectations aren't very high for anything anymore.
No,
Like, they don't have high expectations for anything.
Like that young girl, she was just like, she had no hope, nothing left.
No.
Like an empty shell, and there was so much potential there.
They're human who have hit rock bottom.
Right.
That's what right? And even when you dissect it and look at what the other client had described as her best day is her needs being met and being with someone who loves her.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, isn't that what we
all want?
Yeah.
Is to, like, have all of our basic needs met, to not have to want for anything,
Yeah.
and to be loved by someone.
Yeah.
It's very philosophical, but, like,
Well, it doesn't really get much better than that.
no,
when
and
you're
that's
loved.
what her best
and-
day would be, right? But
absolutely.
it's
It was really shocking.
yeah.
Yeah. But I just, like I said, I came away with it with a whole new perspective. And I really feel like I really want other people to have a new perspective about what's going on in the people in our community. I'm not fully there yet. Like, I still have a lot to learn.
Oh, we're not fully there yet.
Oh,
And,
there's so much to
so
wrap our head around.
when I think about the project we're doing again, not to swing so much back to it, but just
that's
the
point.
awareness, the awareness of it, portion of it is important to me too. Not just people coming to see the art, but whatever information we can give people during the gala, like during the evening, I think is equally important in my mind. Because we're not going to be sharing the client's personal information, who they are, their names, anything like that. Nothing identifiable except their faces. But I think it's important to share a little bit of, share how they got there, or not specifics, but just information, so that people can understand a little. Just understand a little bit more.
Yeah.
So if somebody is listening to this and decides because of this podcast that they want to go see it and they want to be part of it, then I hope that when they go there, they're not just looking at the art, they're going to learn a little bit too.
Absolutely.
The point of it isn't to, I mean, yes, we had 4 incredibly talented, and like Tanya said, we've had seen sneak peeks of the artwork, and like, oh my God,
It's
it's
awesome.
incredible.
Yeah.
And like, I'm so thankful.
Wait till you see yours.
Oh yeah.
Have
you seen it?
You said
Did I send it to you?
like an unfinished.
An unfinished
Tanya and her
version?
partner Paul partook in the. We're not supposed to know who any of them are.
Yeah, I know.
but,
Well,
she will be there. You're
you're going to figure it out.
Oh my word.
And like, we are forever grateful to you and your family for reaching out, because it's you and your sisters and your mom.
That's right. So my mom, she's
Get it right. She might listen.
gosh, she's nearly 80. Let's put it that way. She's about 77, 78. Born in 47, so you guys can figure it out.
We tried doing math classes, and it was awful.
She's always been really supportive of our art. We grew up very, very, very poor. She was a single mom. There was 3 girls that she raised on her own.
That's hard.
And in the Moncton area. But we always had art. My mother's sister and her both were artists. They always encouraged us. The whole family did. So we did art in high school. I had thought for some time I'd go to art school after high school, but I didn't. But it's always just been part of our lives. And so anyway, my sister, Laura Abudo, is one of the other artists. She's a fantastic portrait painter. She's the one that's been doing the very realistic oils.
Yeah.
They're beautiful. I wish I had her talent. So she's done 5 of the pieces, 6 pieces actually. She did a digital piece as well. So she's been very instrumental in helping me with everything. And my other sister contributed 1 piece, and then my mother contributed 1 as well. And my mom has shown in different places around the city throughout the years. She's pretty much retired now, so she doesn't show anymore, but she has in the past. So we've all just sort of got together and pooled our resources, and we had a sponsor too. So Cal's HVAC and Gas, he sponsored our canvases.
That's amazing.
So that was good because that's, an expense. So I had a sponsor that way. So that was good. So that was how we did it. We did it as a family.
Which is incredible.
I love that part of it.
It's like the fact that it's a family thing.
Well, when it started off as 1 portrait, I thought I can handle this.
Yeah, it then turned into 15.
And then and then James got involved, and then it turned into like 15 portraits.
Which James, by the way, we tried to get him to come on also, but he didn't want to commit because he didn't know where he would be.
Right. He's a very busy young man.
He is so busy young.
Yeah.
So busy young, I say. Such a busy guy. But I did promise him that he will be on once, and he does listen to this. So
He does.
no way.
He's listened to all the podcasts.
So thank you, James. Thank you. We will get you on at some point. But he's such a go-getter.
Yeah, so it turned into 15, and then I thought I better enlist some help quickly. Because not everyone's going to want to see maybe my art. I knew my sister was a fantastic portrait artist, so I enlisted her help. And that's where it and then my mom was like, well, maybe I'll do one. Aww. And then my other sister said, maybe I'll do one. I said, okay, just let's keep it family, and we'll do it that way.
Which is amazing. Like another important aspect of the night is like, it's not just you. Which I've seen the works you've done too, and they're incredible, but it's just more people have done work, which means more people have paid attention to the stories that are behind the paintings and the drawings, right? So it's about spreading that awareness and getting that awareness out there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have my
You're
eye.
okay.
These are scratched ones here. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Well, can you believe that? Well, I can believe it.
It's fine.
Oh, that's why it kept.
Do a podcast, they said. It would be fun, they said. So it's a new day.
It is actually a brand new day.
Brand new day. I was in the middle of editing the audio from our talk with Amy the other day, last week. And for some reason, her audio did not come out for the last 20 minutes. It's all crackly, ear piercing. Seems like something had short circuited in her mic. So
Sounded like a windstorm, though.
it did. So it's the day before the podcast goes up, and we didn't know what to do. So we're just going to come on here and officially close out the episode by talking one more time about the Art Gala.
It's going to be so much fun. Come on out, everybody.
Yes, it's September 6th.
7 to 9.
7 to 9. Come whenever. You don't have to be there from the whole 7 to 9. It's show up whenever. At the University of Sherbrooke Moncton campus, which is 50 de la Francophonie.
Ben oui.
That's my French.
C'est ça.
It's literally right across from the UDM campus. So,
and wear whatever. You don't have to get all fancy and glitzy, although that's cool. I like bling, but just want you there.
Yeah. Tickets are available by donation. So you can purchase them by donation at the door, or you can purchase them through our Canada Helps link, which we'll have in the description, or by e-transfer to our general account. general@ensemblegm.ca.
Girl, you are good.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So it's when we say to buy donation, it's literally anything you can part with. So $5,
Yeah.
$100, $300.
I mean,
whatever.
that's cool, but
yeah,
not expected.
no, there's no limit. It's
No.
whatever you are willing to part with, and just make sure you include your email address wherever you contact us by, and the number of tickets you want to receive. So if you only want one, if you want two, whichever.
And just to let everybody know, things are starting to pick up. For the Art Gala, we've gotten some wonderful tickets purchased with lovely donations. Thank you to those already. I think it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
I really do. Y'all
I'm
should.
Excited. It is also a silent auction, so if you're looking to place any bids on any of the amazing artwork,
Not available online, and I only say that because somebody's reached out and asked.
Yes.
So it's exclusively just to the evening.
So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to do that. It's very much appreciated. But there will also be prints of the artwork available for sale. For sale?
For sale?
For sale? For sale. So 8x10 size prints, and I believe the price is $25 a print.
I can't remember.
I can't either.
If I don't write it down, it's
it's
gone.
around $25 a print for purchase, available for purchase during that
Yeah.
evening. So, and if you can't make it out that night, the artwork will remain up for the remainder of the week after September 6th
That's nice they did
at
that.
the atrium at Sherbrooke. So you can stop by anytime to look at the artwork.
I can't wait to see the
I
artwork.
know. I'm so excited.
Such suspense because, I've got a glimpse of one or two,
Yeah.
and I was like mind blown. I was like, wow, that's incredible work. Work that I didn't know that.
Technically, the second time this has happened in this podcast now. Sorry.
Cassandra
Anyone who
and
knows
her-
me knows I have alarms.
alarms.
And do you know what that alarm was for?
No.
It was to remind me to take out the chicken on Sunday, like last Sunday. Because I had
Well-
set an alarm, didn't realize I accidentally set it for every day, and I keep just turning it off instead of officially turning it off.
Yeah.
So every day at 1:30, my phone tells me to take out chicken.
It's a pleasant reminder
It is.
of how good Sunday's dinner was. That's hilarious. Your alarms go off all the time. I'm sitting here doing work. Clickety, click, click, click. Bring. I can hear you all the way up the stairs. Yeah. But at least I know you are alive and well. It's very
Because
important.
you hear me go, oh, shut up.
Yes, pretty much.
But this is also the last episode of the podcast for Overdose Awareness Month.
Holy cow, it is, isn't it?
is, yeah.
We're not on the homeward street. What is today's date anyway?
It's the 28th.
Oh, well, I guess I better...
So we're going back to our regularly scheduled programming next week. This was hard doing an episode a week.
It was fun, though.
It was so fun. So there won't be a new episode on the 5th, but there will be one on the 12th and then every second week.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We'll remind y'all.
Yeah.
Check out the social media.
I'll remind you. So
Yeah.
what are we doing for Overdose Awareness Day this year?
I don't know. Do you know? I'm joking. I'm joking. The look on your face was too priceless. Sorry, my professional side now is coming back. So yeah, we're having a potluck on Friday with our clients. We're going to have it out back. Just something small and intimate. Time to remember our folks. Time to be with our folks. This is hard times. It's a big day. It's a sad day. But I'm glad we get to spend it with our people.
Yeah, we usually, if you know Ensemble, we typically do something big with the whole community.
Yeah.
And when I say whole community, I mean like 8 of the other agencies get involved, and it's been incredible. Last year, the turnout for agencies were
Wow.
beyond our expectations. So many people came to participate, and it was amazing to see all of community together. But the flip side of that is we realized because there was so much commotion and so many bodies and faces involved, the clients didn't really feel comfortable interacting due to how heavy and hard that day is. So we decided this year to kind of take out the community aspect and focus more on the clients and our
Yeah.
folks. And we're just going to feed them good food.
My potato salad.
The whole staff of Ensembles pitched together to do a potluck. So everyone's bringing in a home-cooked dish to give them good food.
Comfort.
We're going to have a memorial wall going up where they can write, and some naloxone training, and just keeping it intimate, small and intimate.
Yep. And I think that it is, it's better.
And downtown Moncton will be lighting up purple tomorrow night.
For real. It did awesome.
For overdose awareness. So if you
Nice.
see the Avenir Center, the downtown lights purple, that's why.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love hearing that.
I
We
know.
tried last year, but
Yeah, we
didn't.
missed it.
Oops.
Missed the deadline.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So,
See you at the Art Gala,
her new catchphrase.
and also be kind.
All right. Thanks
Can't
everyone
forget
for
that
listening to this podcast. Thank you, Amy,
Yes,
for being on the
Amy.
podcast. So sorry we missed the last one or two of your stories because the stupid audio technology sucks sometimes. But
Well, we're going to see what we can scrounge together to get maybe another something so that we don't go through this again.
yeah,
Poor Cassandra.
we'll look into our equipment. But thanks everyone for listening, and we
Yes.
really hope to see you guys at the Art Gala.
Please be kind out there. Have a wonderful week.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye.